Hi, I'm Nikki Baxendale. I'm an environmental artist and photographer. I grew up in London. I was a daughter of a chemistry professor and a biologist, and I spent my early years actually in a chemistry lab behind the electron microscope studying macro patterns and developing photographs in his Lightroom. So my passion for photography was pretty much from age 4. And from that, I was always obsessed with how light entered into a subject and changed colour patterns and exploded the spectrum of colour. I moved to Vancouver about 10 years ago, where I decided to give up the corporate world and follow my passion in environmental advocacy. I am so fortunate to be able to go to remote locations where, as a storyteller at heart, I get to bring back the images that I shoot firsthand with my biggest passion, photography, and then reinterpret those into often abstracted artwork. I like to be able to use my background in macro studies to show the refraction of light and bring in texture into those pieces so that people can really enjoy a new perspective. My viewpoint on bringing environmental art into people's homes is that they can then start the conversation. If they fall in love with a piece of art, then they often will communicate that with other people, and then hopefully the message of environmental change is continued, and that is at the core of what I do. My process starts with, what is the story I want to tell? And then from that, photography is the lead. I like to look at light and how it affects things and how it changes the form of a surface.
So I just got back from an expedition up in northern BC at Chilco Lake at Bear Camp, and I had a really unique experience up close with the grizzlies. And this piece that I'm working on now is called I See You, and it was a moment when we stopped the boat and a mama bear stopped with its cub and stared us straight in the eye. And at that moment, we had no idea whether she was going to charge us or just observe. So this piece is I See You.
When I knew this was my calling, was seeing people's reaction. Now, you can do what you love and be surrounded by friends and family that cheer you along. But when a total stranger walks into your studio and bursts into tears because you've touched them in a different way and your story means something to them, that's absolutely the most unique experience you can have. It's very personal and it's the biggest gift. I tend to put myself into spaces where I'm uncomfortable, and part of that brings out raw feeling. And so I think putting yourself on the edge makes you a better artist because all your senses are heightened. To have outside your back door so many different vast contrasts of nature, whether it's the absolutely stunning scenery of trees and water or the snow up in the mountains, it's a true gift to be able to be surrounded by that energy. I would say when I'm painting, I get really immersed in the process. I don't have any preconceived concept when I start, usually. I don't necessarily map everything out. I don't tend to draw the outlines, I just jump straight in. So for me, it's just working with the moment, and I feel like I paint intuitively. So I just move around the canvas, and I tend to change my materials all the time depending on how I'm just feeling. So it's kind of mood releasing, and each collection I do, it's often a different medium. So I could be painting in oil or acrylic or cold wax. It's just, how do I feel that collection needs to be? The best piece of advice I can give to anyone out there who is looking to follow their dream, whether it's in art or photography or any other creative medium, is stick to your core. Stick to what's inside you and the message that you're trying to say. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Don't compare yourself. Don't judge yourself. Don't worry about people's reactions. Art is truly personal, and it can really expose you putting yourself in front of other people. But just know that you're following your path, and if you stick to your path, that is what you're meant to do, and you will succeed.